Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of JDM Masters. And on today's program we are doing a tour. Well, as you can see right from the background, this is the majestic Mount Fuji, the icon of Japan. And we're here with our friends Jason and Japonic. We're going on a really nice drive and to show you around the Mount Fuji Lakes area and this nice Touge. So come join us. Now, just before we go on a little drive tour, I'll give you a little bit of information on Mount Fuji. It's the highest peak in Japan, standing at 3,776 meters tall. But as you can see from the shape, it's symmetrical cone with the plateau on the top. It's not actually a mountain. It's a volcano. It actually consists of 3 different volcanoes, which is actually still strangely very dormant. There's a danger of it erupting, but so far it hasn't. And in the summertime, you have between the months of July to September, and many people actually pay pilgrimage and actually climb up all the way to the summit. Now, of course, if you want to come to Japan and try to climb this mountain, which a lot of tourists do, you have to start from the 5th station, which is somewhere about the midpoint. It's a very popular walking trail, but it's very, very tiring. There are 4 different routes, and some people who have climbed it, mainly a lot of tourists from other countries. And what a way to at the top after a 10 to 12 hour climb is the majestic view of the entire plateau of the Honshu region. The best time to climb obviously would be starting from late evening, and you can make it just in time during the summer for that early sunrise, and you'll be treated to a majestic view of the twilight, and hopefully it's a clear day. But most Japanese actually do prefer to see it from right over here. From a distance, where the sacred mountain is linked to the Shinto religion, and it is revered almost as a god. But for those of us who love cars and we come driving on the Touges or JDM cars, as our friends do, and a lot of tourists who do come here, it is a lot of things that you can do. You have a car, you want to drive, and you want to see the best views in Japan. We're going to be circling around the 5 lakes that surround it, called the 5 Fuji Lakes. There's Yamanaka, Kawaguchi, Saiko, Motosu, and you know what's the other one? And Shoji Lake. So coming down from the Mikuni Pass, where we saw a majestic view of the snow-capped mountain, we're now here at Yamanaka Lake, which is actually the biggest lake of the 5 Fuji lakes. Interestingly, it's also the only lake to be connected to the outflow underneath to the Sagami River. It's a very popular tourist spot, and right now it's the beginning of the autumn season, and around us you can see how the leaves are in a variety of colors, from red to yellow and brown, and it's a beautiful sight. One of the best seasons in Japan to go around touring, especially by car. In Japanese, there's a word called KOYO, which roughly translates into English as the changing of colors. Now, this word is actually very deep in the culture and the mindset of Japanese people, where the enjoyment of outdoor and nature, filled with the myriad of colors of the changing leaves as it goes from summer into winter, and very soon it will just be all barren. But this is actually the best time. The weather is also very good. Right now it's about, so right here where we're standing at Yamanaka Lake is about 900 meters above sea level, and the weather is really cool. It's about 15 degrees, bright sunshine, and one of the best parts about the autumn to winter season in Japan, it's always sunny. So it's just always clear skies. You're always going to be able to see Mount Fuji right from the morning. The snow cap starts about November and goes on until much late April, and this is actually the best time to go driving. Now, if you know your geography well, and if you look at the map of Japan and into the contours, you'll see that most of it's mountainous areas. In fact, it's 70% mountains and only 30% or more actually usable land of flat plains, mainly around the Kanto region and also the Kinki area. But where we are right now is one of the most popular lakes areas where we can see just dozens and dozens of lakes. The reason that there are many lakes around in Japan is actually because of volcanic activity. It happens thousands of years ago. Lava actually flows into the ground and creates craters, which is filled up and creates different lakes, not unlike many countries in Europe or maybe in North America. But Japan is a bit more unique. It sits in the ring of fire, and it's intersected by numerous tectonic plates, which always has earthquake and seismic activity. People do come here and they take a ride on cruise ships, like this little swan-shaped boat that's going around the lake, and people do fishing. They come here and they take a boat ride, pedal ships, and you'll find this just something very common in most of the lakes in Japan. But very interestingly, a lot of them have this really cute shaped swan or duck. Not too sure what it is, but just seeing that cruising down past the mountain, it tells you you're really in Japan. Oh wow, look at that view.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love coming out here, like the Fuji Five Lakes, and we're really lucky today. There's a really clear view of Fuji. It's usually always cloudy.
Very, very cloudy. In the summertime, you can't really see the mountain at all, unless you wake up really early in the morning. This year, it was just cloudy almost every day. But once we start getting into the cold season, look at that, it's majestic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jason, thanks for coming along for this drive. And I think you've been to quite a few places already, isn't it?
Yeah, like
Tell us where you've been.
Like I've been to half of the Five Lakes, like this one, Yamanaka, and then Kawaguchi.
Did you go to Motosu?
No, not yet.
We will be going there later, so
nice.
We're going to check out. That supposedly is one of the best views of the lake and also of Mount Fuji from that. Because Mount Fuji is, it's symmetrical, but it's actually not. There are certain angles where you can get this really nice photo scene, and apparently one of those spots actually appears also in GT Sport in the photo modes. So we're going to try and check that out.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
Let's see how many of these photo spots we can find.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun. And tell us a bit about yourself, coming here to Japan, and you've got your R34 Skyline GTR, of course in Bayside Blue.
Yeah, another one of these guys, right?
So. It's very similar to Mr. Japonic's one. Tell us a bit about yourself. When did you come to Japan?
So I came to Japan like 3 years ago, and I came here for work, but also I've always wanted to live in Japan. It's like my dream to live in Japan ever since I was a teenager, and I finally had the chance. So then I noticed that the prices of these R34s have been skyrocketing in recent years, so I had to take the chance and hop on and get one before it was too late. But I'm glad I did, because I've always wanted to own like this iconic car and then travel like throughout Japan and see all the iconic landmarks and sightseeing, nature, mountains, different villages. So
was this actually your dream JDM car?
It was actually my dream JDM car was actually like a Honda Integra Type R or NSXR.
Something more realistic.
Yeah. And then, but I just this just happened by chance. And
you want to be able to get this now at the same price, looking at the prices now. Now, how do you feel about taking, the iconic JDM 90 sports car on the best driving roads and the best views in Japan, some of the most iconic spots, especially, where we are now, going around I've just seen Mount Fuji from all different angles, and it's not too far away from Tokyo. You can get here in less than 2 hours, actually, if traffic is good. So it's always a very good driving spot to come out from if you live in the big city. And just, you know, it's been just a dream for everyone. But it's a lot more than that. It's all the little things that people usually miss when they go on these kind of drives, that, you know, you stop somewhere, and as you can see here, you know, small little shops, some cafes, and, you know, there's always some local specialty, and it's always, I think, good to look at guidebooks. How have you done this? How have you done your research so far? And looking at your photos that you've taken, you know, you've obviously appreciated all the small little spots.
Well, there are so many hidden gems and hidden areas all over Japan. Most people, when they come here, they usually just go to Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, those type of places. But you really need to drive and explore with a car to see all the rest of Japan. A lot of tourists, when they come to Japan, they end up taking other modes of transport, like Shinkansen, bullet trains, buses.
Especially the JR
the rail pass.
Right, the rail pass, yeah.
But when you take something like the rail pass, you end up taking like predetermined routes.
Absolutely.
From
absolutely.
Tokyo to like Kyoto, Osaka, Hiroshima, those type of places usually, and they miss out on the rest of Japan. Like there's all these beautiful nature areas outside, away from.
And you can only enjoy that by car,
Right.
obviously.
If somebody ever wanted to move to Japan, it's not so easy. There's of course the language barrier. You need to have a visa, need to find a job.
Finding a job is the
Yeah.
most important thing.
So it's, you know, it's people's dream to live here, but you have to think about like what you're gonna do, like to get ready to prepare yourself to live here.
Absolutely.
And
That's something we can explore, you know, in future topics. Well, maybe your backstory. But for now, let's just keep going on. Let's just keep going, driving down and go to Lake Motosu and see what kind of best views we can get there. Good.
Let's go.
So now we've come to our third stop, Lake Kawaguchi, which is the second biggest lake of the 5 Lakes of Fuji. But it's also the most developed in terms of infrastructure for tourists. And it's also a good base for tourists who want to climb Mount Fuji. And it's just filled with various photo spots. And throughout the day, we'll be going around taking photos. And in the nice KOYO changing of leaves color season, it's a joy for tourists to come here and have a nice view of the lake. And of course, the nice bright sunlight. And of course the majestic Mount Fuji, as you can see here behind us. And with our JDM cars, it just provides a fantastic backdrop of the different colors and being one with nature. After this, we'll be moving on further to other smaller lakes, be driving along and just enjoying the sights and the sounds. And traffic is really light right now on the weekdays, but if you do come on the weekends, expect it to have a lot more tourists, and traffic jams do build up quite quickly in these sort of tourist areas in Japan. Now, Lake Kawaguchi was also added to the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in 2013 along with Mount Fuji. One of the reasons that Mount Fuji wasn't added to the World Heritage Site a lot earlier was that it wasn't up to standards in terms of cleanliness. The sheer amount of tourists who pay pilgrimage climbing the mountains, it builds up a lot of the trash and rubbish as well. Something not that you would expect in a tourist area such as, you know, something as popular as Mount Fuji, but they needed to clean it up in terms of hygiene and various other things, and finally was able to enter the prestigious UNESCO World Heritage Site, and people can now come here and enjoy the wonderful sights So if you do come to Lake Kawaguchi, take your time to go around, check also on popular tourist guides, and make sure that you don't miss these wonderful views. And if you do come in autumn, the splendid colors and the falling leaves now around here, it's just something magnificently to behold. So now we've arrived at our final destination, Lake Shoji. And as you can see behind me, a majestic view, perhaps the best view of the day so far of Mount Fuji. It's almost sunset and you see the reflection in the water, that symmetrical shape of the mountain. And apparently it's a very nice locale for artistic photo shots and videos, and there's a gentleman standing in the water. And of course, we missed out two other locations, the other being Motosu and Saiko, which are the smaller lakes, but perhaps if you don't have enough time to go through all five, which is actually quite a challenge if you drive through and pass through all the tourist locations and drive around catching all the nice scenery, but you have to come here. Look at that. It is just amazing. It's situated at the correct location, the correct angle, that the sun, the setting sun just falls on the top of the snow peak cap, giving that grandeur of Japan's best and most majestic mountain, or volcano actually. Having that reflection in the still water, because the lake is also very small, it doesn't give a lot of ripples. So this is always a spot that's chosen for photographers and of course car enthusiasts. As you can see, Japonic's trying to make his car go swimming, but probably won't make it. This also happens to be the location that's in Gran Turismo Sport, photoscape mode, as you can see here from the photo above. And if you want to capture that same location, this is where you have to go. And so we spent a whole day going around, taking photos at various spots. And if you'd like to download these photos, check in the link below for Google Drive, and you can download the photos for free. And let us know in the comments if you'd like us to do more of these kind of drives and photography drives, and perhaps, you know, we can make wallpapers or other things. But for today, it's been a blessed journey, and the weather gods have been smiling upon us. Japanese car lovers and its car enthusiasts, driving enthusiasts, that's one of the great things about being in Japan. This is autumn season, and we can't wait for the sakura season in spring, which also brings a different view, a different atmosphere with the pink petals, which you'll be discovering and exploring when next spring comes. So let us know in the comments what other locations if you guys may know around Japan that you'd like us to visit as well. Until next time, peace out.